Hey everybody, this is Last Zack NA or Zack's Blobs on League of Legends, and I'm doing another full game Zack commentary. I've been asked to do one that uh, was not a stomp, or maybe one that I lost. You guys won't find out until the end of the game. I don't want to spoil anything, but so here I am. I'm doing it, and this game, this game, whew, man, this game was crazy all the way through. It was never not crazy. During any point during this entire game, there was not one moment where I was like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. Not once. So, during this game, I'm running the runes that were on my guide. There's a lot of scaling cooldown reduction on the blues and some of the quints. And, then there's not armor penetration. Don't need that on Zack. Spell pen reds, and then scaling health yellows. So I get a leash from Aurelia here, which is very kind of her. I don't know if you noticed or not, but there was a big invade down bottom. Nothing really happened. We burned a trinket. That was pretty much it. No flashes, nothing like that. So I'm just clearing my jungle. And yeah. So there's been a lot of Zacks recently, and some of them have been good, some of them have been not so good. But something I've seen a lot of people asking about or doing is upgrading W first. And I've talked about this a little bit on I think it was Reddit, but actually, hold on, got a gank coming in here. So I do an early gank because Cho'Gath expresses to me that Zed is low and it should be a free kill. And then I get there and I realize Cho'Gath doesn't actually have enough mana for Rupture. So I think that was a mistake on my part, actually listening to Cho'Gath. And that's something that's going to be a common theme, is listening to Cho'Gath for one, but just because your laner says that something is a good idea, that does not actually make it a good idea. And that's something that I struggle with a lot, because I'm too trusting of people, regardless of whether it's a good idea or not. So Gragas actually finds me at my red because I went mid lane, and I have to burn flash here. And then I see Cho'Gath coming, and I know that Zed can't get there before Cho'Gath does, so I go back in for a half a second, thinking that we can maybe fight the Gragas, and the Cho'Gath does not follow me up until way too late. And then we end up losing quite a lot out of it. I think I should have just backed off immediately. So, but then what does happen is that Gragas and Zed get greedy for the red buff, and Jinx knows this because the Krugs follow them around to red buff. So Thresh lands a great hook here, and lances Jinx over the wall, and then they end up picking up a kill on Zed. Aurelia tries teleporting down and gets killed by Sion while she's teleporting. And then immediately starts talking about how BS Sion is, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so at this point in the game, I sort of realized that my best hope for this game is going to be bot lane, because top lane died while she was teleporting, and any good top laner is going to look at herself before or during when she's teleporting. Just to make sure she's not getting interrupted like she did during that fight. And my mid laner has already told me to gank once when it was not a good idea. So my goal this game is to hyper snowball the Jinx and let her outscale the Corki. And they don't actually have, besides Zed, they don't have a ton of dive. So if we can peel correctly for Jinx this game, I was thinking that possibly we could win off just the bot lane. So I get Scuttle Crab because I'm about to gank bottom, and I want to know if there's any incoming counter ganks from Gragas, and that's something that's really good to do when you're going to gank a lane, is either put a ward down near it or get Scuttle Crab, because it allows you to spot out counter ganks by the enemy jungler. So here I go on Annie and Corki, and the Thresh immediately follows up Flash Flay, and we get some good slows on the Corki. and he actually had flash. I don't know why he didn't use it, but I don't give a crap. I was expecting 1 kill there, and we ended up getting 2. So both bot laners are down, so I immediately go for Dragon, which I still stand by is the correct call, because Zed can't really leave mid lane. Well, he can, but Cho'Gath should be able to follow up, and then we have 3 versus 2. I also knew that there was no wards on this because I have Raptor Sense. Unfortunately, Zed is level 6 and just comes over and one-shots me. He just happened to be walking by. There was no wards, like I said. But I'm actually not sure what the Zed was doing because there was no one to roam on bot lane. And there were no wards on Dragon to let him know that I was doing it. So he just happened to be walking down there for no apparent reason, honestly. I'm not exactly sure why he was going down there. But whatever, lucky guess. So I still say that bot lane should have followed me on that, but it's okay. We got a double kill on Jinx, and I guess that's okay with me. So they end up getting the first dragon, which is unfortunate, but so I need to farm very badly because it is 8 minutes in and I'm level 4, which is very, very bad. So my plan right now is just to farm and hopefully come back into the game before Gragas and Zed make too big a deal on this this Cho'Gath. But Cho'Gath unfortunately does get caught out, so I have to go back in and try and save him, and then he gets ulted at this point. I know he's sort of dead, so I just walk out, and I end up getting away. Unfortunately, Cho'Gath burned Flash and Ignite during that gank, which wasn't very smart, because there was not any way he was going to get that kill. So I see that there's some farm mid that I can pick up, hopefully get me back into this game. So I go over and pick that up. I'm going to start fast forwarding here because I'm remembering how long this game is now. So I upgraded my trinket, switched out my trinket very early, and that's something that I do a lot, just to clear wards, because as the jungler and the support, you are generally the people roaming around the most, so it's easiest for you to clear wards. So like I said, I'm just sort of farming, trying to get back into this game. I smite the Raptor camp because I still believe it's tied for the best camp with Gromp to smite, especially early to mid game. So they dive Jinx, and I end up picking up a kill on Annie, but unfortunately they're able to dive me under tower with my passive, and our TP is not actually up because she has died once again. So I trade 1-for-1 on that, but then we also lost Jinx, and we might have lost Thresh. I don't exactly remember. So Cho'Gath is just getting soloed over and over again mid, and I think he is like, what is he right now? He is 0-3. So mid lane and top lane both not going well. 0-3, 0-3. I'm doing my best to try and help bot lane, but unfortunately so is Gragas, and that's going to be the biggest problem in this game, is trying to get Jinx ahead. Now Jinx is doing a really good job so far. She's got 2 kills and one death only, and Thresh hasn't really died that many times either. So I'm still saying bot lane is my best bet. Unfortunately, Cho'Gath does get killed again. So Cho'Gath is a total of 0-4, and Aurelia is a total of 0-3. And right now I'm typing to my bot lane, please back off. There are 4 people bot lane. Please back off. In all capital letters. And for whatever reason they choose to ignore me. I'm not sure if they thought they were stronger than they actually are or something, but they end up both dying here. There was not much I could have done to prevent that. That gank lasted an entirety of about 3.5 seconds. So all I could do was tell them what was going to happen, and hopefully they listened. Unfortunately, they didn't. But you know, what can you do about that? Sometimes just like I said, you don't always have to listen to your laners because it might be a bad idea. It's likewise for the lanes. Sometimes they don't listen to you, and oftentimes I try not to say stuff in chat unless I know it's absolutely for sure. But they don't know that about me, so. So right now I'm looking for them to push mid lane because Zac is very good against anti-sieging, or against sieging. So if the enemy team is sieging mid lane, you can easily slingshot from over the wall and get a three-man ult a lot of times. So, oh man, I'm just trying my best here, but they're just like four-man diving lanes, and there's really not much I can do about it. I get Corki to blow flash and heal, and he ends up living with like 2 HP. Unfortunately, Thresh's flash didn't put him quite enough in range. So they're gonna go for this dragon, I believe. After killing Jinx. Oh man, this early game went so poorly. We ended up picking up a cheese kill on Corki because he walked close enough to get ignited and then punched in the face by me. And Thresh's Ignite picks it up. But I am just going to go ahead and let them take this dragon if I remember correctly because we are down quite a few members of our team. And it just doesn't seem worth it to me. So, yeah, I just go ahead and let them have it. And sometimes that's the better idea. Even though, oh, this is kind of funny. They have a ward on me here, and I know they do. So I'm just trying to like screw over their backs a little bit. So as soon as I start charging Slingshot, they stop their backs, and then I just walk away like I don't know. Oh man, this was freaking hilarious to me. I was like, oh man, this is great. But see if they fall for it one more time, and they don't. They're done with this game. Yeah, they're done with this game. So then I just go in and pick up Skull Crab afterwards, just for the extra vision on bot lane. So, like I said, at this point, I'm just trying to save our bot lane from the incoming slaughter fest that is Gragas and Zed ganks. Gragas is more effective than Zac early game because his ganks they're easier to perform than Zac ganks. He brings more damage than Zac, and his CC is more reliable than Zac's. And unfortunately, I am against Smite TP Scion this game. So the Smite TP meta is pretty annoying for junglers because if your top laner ever starts losing lane at any given point, the lane is over. Because the enemy top laner can easily go into your jungle and start stealing camps from you. So we end up picking up a kill on Zed there because he gets greedy for the Cho'Gath. And I think that's going to be the story of this game a lot, is Zed getting greedy. Whether it results in a loss or not remains to be seen, but yeah. So Gragas is definitely better than Zac early. However, Zac outscales Gragas late game because... give me a second here. So you can see Gragas is tanky as balls right now, and basically we're just trying to do anything we can to him. For some reason, he goes back in here and pops my passive, but then he ends up giving Jinx 500 gold shutdown for it. So then Zed, I actually don't notice until half a second too late, and that Zed's getting a kill on Thresh, and then Zed heads bottom, so I head bottom, and he still has ult. I actually assumed that Zed used ult, which is a bad assumption. So we ended up picking up the kill on Zed, but he ends up picking up the kill on me. Now at this point it's 18 minutes in, and I have 68 farm, which is not ideal at all. At this point in the game, I want to have closer to 100 farm, more like 80. If you can have 80 farm or so, it's by 18 minutes. That's generally accepted good. Aurelia teleports down bottom for not much. Now, I know that Dragon is going up in 2 minutes, and again, my best hope is to do something, make something happen bot lane, and then hopefully, hopefully we can get something out of it with the bot lane advantage. I was typing there, and I accidentally used Slingshot. So they pick off the Cho'Gath once again. Cho'Gath is a grand total of 0-7 at this point. So, and that's why I stopped ganking mid, because at some point, you want to gank for people that can carry the game with you. And I know 100% for a fact that this Cho'Gath is not going to carry the game with me. And that's why I haven't ganked his lane. Like, I think a lot of lower level, or lower rank junglers, or lower rank laners, I should say, you know, would say, new jungler isn't helping the guy that's losing lane. And a lot of times that's not what you want to do, is help the guy that's losing the lane, because it would take so much more effort than is worth it to get Cho'Gath back into the game. So it's really not worth my time to try and get Cho'Gath back into the game, because it would require me to gank his lane at least 7 times, and that's assuming we freaking get a kill every time. So yeah, that's just not gonna happen. Now at this point, Jinx is stealing most of my farm from the jungle, which normally, if there's one thing that puts me on tilt, it's AD carry stealing my farm in the jungle. However, I don't really say much about it, because, like I said, Jinx is the only way we're gonna win this game, so I'm okay with giving some of the farm to her. So they're going for Dragon again. And I try and go for the steal, and I end up missing it, so I just flash out. So I was talking about the Gragas versus Zac matchup, and so right now Jinx has done an incredible job of trying to stay afloat with the constant 4-man dives and hullabaloo that's going on bot lane. So I really don't mind giving up a couple CS to her. So actually, here's probably one of the better ults I have during the game, which results in an almost instant double kill for Aurelia, and then we end up trying to have to fight the Scion off. And this guy is super tanky at this point, because not only has he been able to farm the entire lane, shove it out, and then go farm my jungle, but he's been able to roam down for kills and go back whenever he wants to. So he's had the most efficient backing timers, and he's been able to just farm as much as he wants. So at this point, this guy's got 200 farm at 20 minutes. He has had no problem in the top lane. Fortunately, Aurelia just got back into the game with that double kill, which is good, because as much as I want Jinx to carry this game, it's going to be nice to have at least one other teammate that isn't completely useless. So Annie actually gets off the last auto attack on me, and I have to pop passive, but none of them chase me for it. My hope with that last team fight was that we got mid turret off of it, but unfortunately, no one really found that idea to be a good one, apparently. So basically, we just got to relieve some pressure, and yeah. So then Zed ends up getting greedy again, and has to burn both of his actives. So as soon as we see him run towards Baron, we know that they're doing Baron, because he has no reason to run that way with such little health. I come in. I don't have smite at this point, So I just bounce around and cause as much havoc as I can with while giving Jinx the easiest job possible. Unfortunately, Jinx DPS is Baron here instead of the enemy champions. She didn't know I didn't have Smite. But it would have been a lot easier, even if I did have Smite, it would have been a lot easier to take out the Gragas and then go for Baron, instead of focusing the Baron first, because if you focus Baron before the enemy jungler, it gives the enemy jungler a chance to smite it. Obviously, it didn't really come down to a Smite war that time because I didn't have Smite up, but because I used it on the Zed over here to try and get the kill. So I ended up dying for sins during that exchange, but we end up getting mid turret off of it, which is, God bless, we got mid turret, you know. Thank God. So at this point, I'm sort of just the sacrificial lamb for Jinx getting fed. I believe she's got quite a few kills off of me either popping passive or just dying in general. And I know what you're thinking. No, Nicholas, you're just feeding and Jinx is carrying you. And to some extent, I think that's it's sort of true. But a lot of those kills, I feel Jinx would not have been able to get without Thresh and I backing her up. So Thresh is just like trying to play out of his mind here, and I think that was the best job he could have done. But Jinx does go down again, so this match is just a bloodbath so far, and they have Baron, so we have to watch out for pushes. So I'm trying to defend mid turret, and I'm trying to get a catch on the Annie. But then I ended up seeing something going down bottom, so I start heading bottom instead. And Aurelia thankfully ports in, and we end up getting a kill on Corki, and then we have to fight off the super tanky Gragas. And the Aurelia stays in melee form for the Gragas to hit him with the W, the big barrel slap. So we end up coming ahead on that trade, but we're slowly but surely coming back into this game. And what I'm doing is to help this is basically just, you can see the wards in my inventory. I'm just warding up our jungle, trying to create picks. And trying to clear vision so that we have the easiest time possible coming back into the game. And as I already said, I am donating most of the farm to Jinx, and I'm not really donating it to Cho'Gath, but he is taking it without my permission anyways. So fortunately, by the end of this game, Gragas is going to have like 100 more CS than me, which is unfortunate, but that's really all I could do was do it. So Gragas actually gets the smite on that one too. He was pretty consistent with his smites this game. The first time I wasn't in the pit early enough to even think about getting it. That time he did outsmite me. So Thresh lands a godlike hook on the Annie there, and then I am basically letting Aurelia do her own thing, and I'm making sure Jinx is safe. That is my #1 priority in this game. I'm just staying right next to Jinx, and if anyone comes in to try and bully on her, then I will most likely try and stop them. So I bounce Gragas into the turret here, and then I bounce Corki back towards Jinx. And since he's CC'd, Jinx ends up getting a nice rocket onto Corki. So I think I actually have to burn Flash here. Yeah, I burn Flash because I don't want to get owned by Scion passive. And I would rather have my passive up at this point than Flash, because when it comes to tank wars, Scion is going to be trying to dive my backline, and I'm going to be trying to dive their backline at some points during the team fight. And so it's basically a war between who can kill the enemy tank faster. And if my team wins, if I die after or at the same time as Scion, I have confidence that Jinx can clean up the rest of the fight if both the tanks are dead. So that's basically my job right now, which, you know, not the most glorifying job, but what are you gonna do? Playing a tank, right? So I believe I come over here and I smite wolves. Maybe I don't. No, I give it to Jinx. Never mind. Yeah, see, like I said, like everything's Jinx is this game basically. And sometimes you just have to trust your teammates, and because I know for a fact that I can't carry this game by myself. There's no way I can do enough damage to kill the Corki and the Gragas and the Scion without some damage from my team. So I come in and give Thresh some Targon stacks. We know that Baron is up in 30 seconds. So I give Jinx this red buff in preparation for the Baron fight that I expect is going to happen. Take out this ward. And then I actually don't use Smite on the Raptors like I normally would there because I know Dragon's up. Or Baron, I'm sorry. So Baron's up, and Jinx is stuck defending bottom. I go in, and I get the Smite on Baron. Thank God. We probably would have lost the game. I don't want to say that. But it would have been very, very difficult to win the game if I would have missed that Smite. So this is where our team coordination sort of falters a bit because we need Jinx in fights. When you have one person that is fed on your team that's a carry, you want them fighting with you and not splitting against the enemy person. Because if they're splitting against the enemy, then they're not doing as much as they could be doing. So we tell Aurelia that she needs to be splitting bot lane for two reasons. One, she's going to have a lot easier time splitting against Zed than our AD carry will, because that's Zed's job is to take out the AD carry. And if we have the AD carry split against Zed, then that's not going to go well for anybody. And number two is she has teleport. So she's allowed to split. Like right now, she has teleport up, but she didn't use it because she wasn't splitting. She had no reason to. So if she were splitting during that, she would have easily been able to join the fight if she felt it was necessary. So right now we're telling Aurelia that she needs to be the one splitting bot instead of Jinx. So she gets the she goes bottom and tries to get farm, and then they end up just fighting her and killing her. So we get a 1-for-1, or sorry, 2-for-1, Jinx and Aurelia for Annie. So I'm just trying to turtle this up. I know they're getting Dragon, but there's really not a lot I can do about it, especially if Jinx is down. I'm really just playing around Jinx this game. I don't know if you've heard this term, but the term anchor is tossed around a lot in jungle lingo, and an anchor is someone that you camp to carry the game with you. And if I don't have my anchor, then I'm not making plays. So they have 5th dragon on us. So we know that we need to be turtling and not fighting them as much as possible, because as strong as Jinx is right now, and she is 13-5 with very close to full build. There's no way we're going to be able to fight them with the true damage burn. So we let them take this turret because it's harder to defend than this turret. So we back up and try and defend this turret instead. And we're sort of just sieging them off this. And then they sort of rotate bottom, and we end up having a fight down here. I'm trying to peel for the Aurelia, because it's 2v2 mid, and then we're sort of just peeling over here and fighting. Cyan ends up killing Cho'Gath. I land a 3-man on Gragas, Corki, and Annie. And then I end up having to flash out. So that actually went 2 for 2, which, since they have 5th Dragon, is much better than we could have ever hoped for. Because if they have 5th Dragon, you want to be making trades that are even. Or, I mean, even is great, because the longer they aren't fighting us with 5th. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Oh man, okay. So this Thresh is just playing out of his mind. If Jinx would have grabbed the lantern in time, that would have been a kill on Corki. So Zed goes ham on the Jinx here, and then I immediately slingshot on top of him, stun him, and then we just take him out. The Zed is okay. Apparently his team got really mad at him for that one. Yeah, the Zed is getting pretty greedy. So I was just waiting for wards. So I have 2 more wards. I know Baron's up in 57 seconds. So I smite Wraiths, and I still have smite up in 5 seconds. And I'm going to try and do my best to ward Baron when I feel that it's safe. I use 1 ward on our right side jungle, just to spot out for if someone tries to collapse on our guy that has to split. And then we don't really want to fight them. We want to fight them while they're doing Baron, because Baron, 6th member of the team, you know. And once again, we sort of struggle over here with leaving Zed by himself. But team fight ensues. I ult the Corki. Corki's pretty much useless this fight because he had to flash away from me. So I see Jinx, and I'm just peeling for Jinx. I'm standing in between everyone and Jinx. We end up killing the Annie, and at this point the Scion can't kill the Jinx. And they fought us in a corridor. So again, I try and get in between the Zed and the Jinx, but his ult kind of just one-shots her. Fortunately, Aurelia flashes over and saves me. This fight is messy as all hell, I know. But what are you gonna do? So the Gragas ends up going on a freaking Trick 2G spree. I didn't actually see what happened here. So I was like, at this point I was like, okay, they got him. And then Aurelia just walks away. I don't know why that is. That was very confusing to me. I don't know. She just, I mean, Aurelia wasn't the smartest person in this game, but that was just something else. I thought they had him, so I just walked away. He was knocked up under inhibitor tower. So I was just like, they've got him, and then I walked away, and then 2 seconds later, Gragas is out. So, 5th Dragon's up again, and this is just, like, non-stop threats for us, because 1 minute Baron comes up, 1 minute Dragon comes up. Cho'Gath pings to go for Baron. And I'm like, I don't know about this. And he's like, no, we got this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm out of here. Sorry. So that was my mistake, listening to the Cho'Gath once again. I should not have done that. I should have just let him do his own thing. So I go for the steal again. I miss the smite. And I get killed here because I grab the lantern and Gragas interrupts me. So then they dive over and funnel into a corridor with Thresh Box. And this is an amazing Thresh Box because it prevents them from getting any closer to the rest of the team. I believe they end up getting Aurelia here. No, they end up getting Jinx. That's right. So they end up getting Jinx. Yeah. Yeah. So they've got 4-man and fifth dragon in our base. Only person up is Aurelia, and they go for the inhibitor turret. And at this point, remember, they have the 5th dragon doubles all the previous bonuses, so they have a lot of turret pushing power just from dragons right now. So their next call is Baron. Man, holy crap, this game is stressful even rewatching it. So stressful. So I'm up. I know they're going for Dragon or Baron. Man, I keep messing that up. I know they're going for Baron, and I think they end up getting it. Yeah, they do end up getting it. So what I do is I just smite the wolf camp so that we will know if they are coming to push lanes. An important thing, as soon as you know that the enemy team has Barons, try your best, or has Barons. Man, what is with me today? As soon as the enemy team has Baron, try your best to clear out all the waves that are incoming, because if they were to come mid with that giant wave pushing, they would have like 20 Baron minions that we would have to get rid of, and that is much harder than getting rid of 20 regular minions. And Zed dies again. I think that's the story of this game. Zed goes way too hard for the Jinx. The Jinx obviously plays it well. So you want to be trying to clear as many waves as possible before they are able to push their advantage with Baron. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean overextend to farm. That's not what I'm saying. It means clear as many waves as you can before they get to push. So I bounce Annie away from my team so she can't Tibbers. And then we know it's a 4v5 because Zed got caught. So we just try and go on the Gragas, and then Corky's walking here. I don't know what he was doing, but he just walks up to me, and I smite him and slow him, and then jump on him, and then Thresh lands a hook, and he's dead. I have no idea what Corky was doing there. But we ended up getting a pick off of it, so, you know. So we're just clearing waves. There's really not a whole lot we can do besides that. We have 2 inhibitors down, and they have a ton of dragons and the Baron. So it's very difficult for us to come back at this point. The top tower is the only tower they haven't taken. So we're just turtling here. Like, we're all typing in chat, please do not leave the base. We just need to turtle. We give up 5th dragon again. I think this is their 3rd 5th dragon. That is, we have not got 1 dragon. Not one. Generally I'm able to solo at least 1 early game, but the one that I did try to solo, obviously Zed sort of just stopped by and paid me a visit, which is unfortunate. So, right now I have full build, getting to the point where I'm outscaling Gragas. The reason I outscale Gragas is because his percentage damage is on a higher cooldown than mine, for one. So his percent damage is in his W, and my percent damage is in my W. Oh, give me a second here. So, I dive the backline because this is like the tank battle. Everyone's on me and Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath should have been peeling here, honestly, in my opinion. Cho'Gath doesn't have very good dive because he has no gap close, whereas I do have a gap close, so I can dive the backline. Jinx is just staying as far back as possible, which is good, and then she gets the reset from Get Excited and tries to catch up to the Gragas. and we're trying to catch up. She lands a stun on Gragas, and then Chomper's on top of that. We get one crit rocket on the Annie. Boom goes the dynamite. And we get an ace. And after this, Baron's not up for 40 seconds. Dragon's not up for quite a while. So we really can't take anything except for relieve pressure once again. If I suppose Aurelia could have ported top and took that turret. Oh, no, it's already taken. Never mind. So back to Gragas and Zac. His percent damage is on a much higher cooldown than mine, for one. And then for two, his ult is a lot harder to use. If he messes up his ult, then it can go horribly wrong. But I can't really mess up my ult as badly as he can. Like, worst case scenario, I suppose I could bounce the Zed right into the Jinx. But I'm generally fairly careful, and I try not to do that. At this point in the game, you can generally try and decide which targets are best to bounce towards your team, and which targets are best to bounce away from your team. And at this point, I basically just want to bounce everyone away from my team. The longer Jinx has to fire on people, the better. We end up picking up this dragon. And so we spam ping to get the hell out of there because it's scary. And the Scion has GA and 5,000 HP, so there's no way we're going to be able to fight him after we just fought Baron. I would rather have to fight the frickin' Baron again than that Scion. Now the only problem with going Smite top late game is that you don't really have as much of a gap. Like, you can't flash on top of your target. So Scion can't flash on top of Jinx, and Annie is consistently being bounced out of the fight by me, and Zed is just... Zed can't find his way to the target for whatever reason this game. I don't know why that is. Thresh is peeling out of his mind as well, so that possibly could be it. Let me see here. Also, my engage is much more reliable than Gragas. I can during late game team fights. Like, odds are, even if I muck it up a ton, generally I can land a slingshot on at least one person. Unfortunately, Thresh misses the hook on Annie, which would have resulted in a kill. I hold my ult here because the only person I had to ult back in my team was Gragas, and I didn't really want to take the chance. Thresh lands an amazing hook on Corki. Holy balls! Yeah, the Thresh and the Jinx are really the two heroes of this game, if I had to say. So I go on these two, and we end up killing the Annie, and then Thresh lands an amazing hook on the Zed, and we crit him for the GA kill. Now I think I end up just diving the Gragas with the Aurelia here. My gosh. So this is 51 minutes into the game. Gragas has 200 CS, and I have 170. Okay, it actually wasn't that bad of a discrepancy, but... as you can see, Jinx has 430 CS. So, there's... Jinx is much more of a hyper carry than Corki is, so Corki is just not as useful late game. And we end up winning the game right here. This game was stressful as balls, and I never want to play another game like it, but props to the Jinx and Thresh for peeling and hyper carrying respectively. I could not have won this game without them. I do feel like I helped out much more than the Cho'Gath, and I think I did about the same as Aurelia at certain points of the game. Aurelia fed hard early, but she made up for it later. But yeah, that's about it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I don't normally do a ton of full game commentaries like this, but I can if you guys want. I think I'm going to be doing another sort of educational video on Zach, maybe about jump spots or something like that. But yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys next time.